What's good YouTube, Stats 4K back again with another video, and today I'm going to be going over 13 plus tips and tricks that you should know about for your iPhone 13 Pro Max, but most people actually still don't know about them. Now the iPhone 13 Pro Max is one of the largest and heaviest iPhone models. Although the iPhone 13 Pro Max is a great phone with quality features, there's still a lot of features that people aren't aware of, and today I'm going to cover them all. Now, one of the first tips we should get into is how all camera lenses now have night mode. The 13 series is when Apple first initially started to upgrade the telephoto lens, allowing us all to have night mode on all three lenses and allowing just better photo quality overall. And moving on, the camera has also been upgraded with a 3x zoom range and a 15x digital zoom. And I can see how the 3x zoom range and also the 15x digital zoom will come in handy. It's also good to point out that the ultra wide lens has now gained autofocus, allowing us to get close-up shots of objects and allowing us to see the objects in good quality. Now, another thing to mention is that the iPhone 13 Pro Max actually does have one of the loudest speakers in the history of iPhones. The 13 Pro Max is actually still competing with the 14 and the 15 series to this day. And not only are the speakers loud, but the clarity and sound separation with the music is also great. So when you're on phone calls, the voice quality is great. When you're listening to music, the sound quality is great. Overall, the 13 Pro Max is still a great phone with great features. And the fact that the 13 series is still competing with the 14 and the 15 series, it just shows you how great the phone is. Another thing to mention is how the iPhone 13 Pro Max moves at 120 times per second versus 60 times per second. Now, not if you're going slow, but if you're gaming, if you're going really fast on your home screen, then you'll see that the iPhone 13 starts to move at 120 frames per second, ultimately giving it a more fast and smooth pace when you're scrolling through your phone. And if you're gaming, if you're playing fast-paced games, you'll know that the 13 Pro Max starts to operate at 120 frames per second. Now, going back to the camera settings, and an option that I was very excited about when the 13 Pro Max came out is that there's new options for photo styles. Now, the photo styles, which are basically filters, are something that many people can find useful and will use. Now, you have the options to choose from vibrant to warm to cool to standard if you like the standard photo settings, and you can actually access this from your camera or you can access this from your settings. So you might want to go to settings, go to camera and go to photographic styles, and you'll see here you're able to change from warm to vibrant to standard to cool, etc. Now, moving on, you might want to go over to your preserve settings in your photos, on your camera settings. Now, the settings that I like to keep on are live photo and night mode. Now, keeping on night mode just makes it less annoying because you don't always want to switch to night mode whenever you open up your camera. So turning on the night mode pre-save settings just makes everything essentially easier. And also live photo. Sometimes you want to turn off live photo or sometimes you want to keep it on. But turning on the pre-save settings, that's just going to make it more easier rather than taking all your photos in live mode. Now, another tip I want to give to everyone who owns a 13 Pro Max and likes to edit their videos or likes to share their videos, share them across social media maybe, or post them on their stories. A tip I want to give you is to turn off HDR video, high efficiency. Now, the reason I say this is because if you're sharing your videos to someone who doesn't have high efficiency enabled on their iPhone, then the quality is not going to be great, even though the quality might be nice on your end. So if you're sharing your videos, if you like to edit your videos, share them on social media platforms, I would suggest turning off HDR video efficiency because not everybody's going to be able to view your video in HDR. So that's just a tip that will be helpful. And if you want to maintain great quality, I would suggest turning off your HDR settings. Another feature I want to suggest about the iPhone 13 Pro Max is if you go into your settings, go into camera settings and then go into formats, you'll see that you have the option to enable Pro RAW. Now, Pro RAW is great quality for your photos. It just bumps up your photo quality and it does make them very nice. But you have to be aware that enabling Pro RAW can decrease your storage faster. So just be aware of that. Even though Pro RAW is a good setting to use, and as you can see here, show camera control for Pro RAW. Pro RAW is a 12-bit file that uses linear DNG format to retain more information and dynamic range in the file. So Pro RAW is good for your photo qualities, but just remember, it's a 12-bit file range, so it is going to decrease your storage faster. So just keep that in mind if you want to use Pro RAW. Now, another thing I would like to mention is that for the first time ever, on the 13 Pro Max, we now have a 5-core GPU. So good graphics, performance, gaming and editing on the iPhone. So if those things are interesting to you and if you do those things on your iPhone, the 5-core GPU is going to help massively. The editing quality is going to be better, the graphics quality is going to be better, gaming quality is going to be better. So if you're someone who likes to play COD Mobile or other fast-paced games on your iPhone, the 5-core GPU on the 13 Pro Max is going to be insanely good for all of those features. And if you do have the 13 Pro Max, you would know how much the 5-core GPU helps. Now the next tip that everyone should know about is the long lasting battery life. Now the battery life on the iPhone 13 Pro Max is very long lasting. Now that doesn't mean that you should use it all day long, because obviously your battery is going to drain faster, but throughout the day your battery life is very long. I find myself using my iPhone a lot throughout the day, and towards the end of the day I'm still on around 20 to 15% of battery life left. So with a full charge in the morning, that's roughly the battery percentage you're looking to have left towards the end of the day. The 13 series, Apple has actually used a new battery, a bigger and heavier battery, which also adds to the weight of the iPhone, as the 13 Pro Max is one of the heaviest iPhones ever. And now this new battery gives the iPhone 13 Pro Max some huge power and insane battery life. I would suggest having optimized battery charging turned on. Now optimized battery charging just increases the duration of your phone being on, so it's going to make your battery go down way slower, and it's just going to add to the amount of time you can use your phone throughout the day. Moving on to another cool feature, which is live text. Now live text essentially allows us to use our camera to place it on top of any object or any piece of information that has text over it, and it's going to be so easy to copy that text and copy whatever you want from that piece of paper. Say it's a book or say it's anything that has text on it, you're going to be able to copy it so easily with this new feature called live text, and it's very practical as well. So all you have to do is hover your camera over anything that has text on it. You'll see this little sign come up here. You just click on it, and then it's going to copy all the text from whatever object it is or whatever text is there, and it's going to copy that, and you're able to paste that anywhere. Now I want to take you guys back to your photo gallery and give you guys another tip about the camera. So whenever you're taking pictures with your cameras, whether you're using the ultra wide lens, the wide lens, the main camera, portrait camera, whatever camera you're using, if you want to ever find out what camera lens actually took that photo, all you're going to have to do is swipe up on that picture and you'll be able to see what camera lens actually took that photo. So whether it be main camera, ultra wide camera, you'll be able to see whatever lens took that photo, and there's also going to be extra information alongside that, such as the date, what day it is, the time. You can see the phone that took it, the 26mm, 9MP, the aspect ratio of the photo, how much storage it's going to take up on your device. So when you scroll up on the photo, you'll be able to see all the information here, and in some cases you can actually see where the location was of the photo. So if you've ever taken a photo and you can't remember exactly where it was, all you would have to do is swipe up and the location will be there for you to remember. Now I just want to quickly cover the back tap feature. So if we head into our settings, we're going to see we're able to access the back tap feature. Now the back tap feature is essentially using the button on the back of the iPhone. We either have options to double tap or to triple tap. So for me, I like to use my double tap to access my home screen, and I like to use my triple tap to access my main camera. Now these are very helpful because if you don't want to stretch all the way up to the top of your screen to scroll down, you'll just be able to tap your iPhone quickly and you'll be able to access your camera or your home screen. That's for me what I've set it to, but you guys can set it to whatever you want. There's many different options, such as your clock, your timer, many different options you're able to set it to, and it's kind of like side buttons on a mouse, but on your phone, so that's very helpful. Now I want to move on to the keyboard trackpad. Now the keyboard trackpad is very helpful. Instead of you having to select in between these small numbers and letters, you're able to use your trackpad, which is way easier by just holding down your space button, and you'll see you're now freely able to move anywhere on the screen and delete any letters or any mistakes that you've made, rather than having to use your finger to really try and get in between the letters that you want to delete. Now you can use your keyboard trackpad to do it way easier and quicker, and I found that this is something that really helps me, and I think it'll help a lot of you guys too. Now I want to go into talking about live wallpapers. Now wallpapers is something that's not really talked about with iPhones, and it's not really talked about in general with YouTubers. Now I want to talk about the different wallpapers there are on the 13 series. Now if you go into your wallpaper settings, you'll see there's many different choices that you can choose from. There's things such as featured, photo shuffle, which is a new one, weather and astronomy, kaleidoscope, emoji, unity, pride, collections, color. So there's just many different cool wallpapers that people rarely talk about. Now for me personally, I do like the kaleidoscope and I like weather and astronomy. The photo shuffle may be better suited for you. Photo shuffle is sick as well. Now these are just all different wallpapers that I feel like should be spoken about more, because not many people know about them. Now if you want to change your wallpaper to something sick, I suggest you go over to the wallpapers and look at all the different cool options that Apple has for you. Now finally, a great feature that hardly anyone ever talks about, and a very useful feature, is the drag and drop feature. Now the drag and drop feature basically allows you to copy something from a photo in your gallery, and you're now able to take it over to different apps. So if I want to go into Instagram, I'll be able to paste it into Instagram, and you'll see that the picture will pop up here. And now I can post it onto my story, I can send it to my friends, and this feature is very helpful. Also, if you go into Safari and you want to copy an image, you're able to select multiple images and take that over to iMessage or take that over to Instagram, Snapchat, wherever you would like. And that is just very helpful. Rather than having to copy multiple images at different times, you'll be able to just do it all at once. This is something that helps us out a lot, and this is something that Apple has thought very carefully about, so thank you Apple for that. Now to wrap up this video, that has been 13 plus tips and tricks on your iPhone 13 Pro Max that many people didn't know about. Hope you will enjoy this video. Like and subscribe. Many more tech videos to come. I'll leave my social media links down below, especially my TikTok where I do unboxing videos, and all the tech that I do review on my YouTube will always be on my TikTok first, so go check that out. But YouTube, that's been Stats4K with 13 plus tips and tricks for your iPhone 13 Pro Max.